Welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel, Metalheads. I've got a great review for you, especially if you're into death metal. Now, Florida's pioneer band Monstrosity have just released their new album on Metal Blade Records. It's called Screams from Beneath the Surface. It's a fantastic follow-up to the band's previous albums, and in my opinion, it's probably one of the best albums they've done since the debut album. Check out this review, folks, and also the album. Thanks for watching. Now, Monstrosity were formed back in 1990 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the band's debut album, Imperial Doom, is a brilliant cult classic death metal album, with the original lineup being Lee Harrison on drums, who's still in the band today. We'd have George Corpse Grinder, as we all know is now with Cannibal Corpse. Also on bass guitar, we would have Mark Van Erp. The band would also consist of guitarist Jon Rubin, who later on went and joined Malevolent Creation, another great band from Florida. This album also featured guitarist Jason Globel, who was also in the band Cynic. Imperial Doom was released on Nuclear Blast Records back in 1992. It was a brutal, heavy album with a lot of potential and one of the best death metal albums to come out of Florida. In 1996, the band released their second album, also featuring George Corpse Grinder on vocals. This was called Millennium, also released on Nuclear Blast. Since George left the band released their next album in 1999. This was called The Dark Purity. In 2003, the band released their next album, Rise to Power. In 2007, the band released their next album. This was called Spiritual Apocalypse. 2018, the band had signed to Metal Blade Records and released the album The Passage of Existence, and now they've just released a new album. So let's talk about the current lineup for the new album. We'd have Lee Harrison on drums, we'd have Ed Webb on vocals, Matt Barnes on guitars, and longtime bassist Mark Van Erp. So that's the lineup for the new album. Now, this album contains 10 tracks, so let's talk about the song titles before we talk about the songs in general. Okay, we'd have Banished to the Skies, The Colossal Rage, The Atrophied, Spiritual, Fortunes Engraved in Blood, Vapors, The Thorns, Bloodworks, The Dark Aura, and the last song will be called Veil of Disillusion. So that's the song titles. So let's talk about the production. So this album was recorded at multiple studios. The bass guitar and drums were recorded and mixed at Audio Hammer Studios with producer Jason Sukoff, whilst the guitars and vocals were recorded at the legendary Morris Sound Studios in Tampa, Florida, with the aid of Jim Morris, also Mark Prater, and would also have BJ Ramone. So they were the people handling the vocals and guitars at Morris Sound Studios. Now, sometimes people say recording in multiple studios doesn't work. This really did work for a Monstrosity. The production is very powerful, heavy, and really solid. Now, the opening track, Banished to the Skies. What a brilliant opening track. This is solid, heavy, and powerful. Lee's drumming is amazing, some great guitar playing here, and some fantastic vocals. All around, it's a very technical song. And it kind of reminds me of a cross between Massacre, Death, and also Malevolent Creation. Now, there's one thing I like about this song is the guitar solo by Matt. It's absolutely fantastic. Kind of reminds me of Chuck Shoulder from Death, rest in peace, Chuck. And guitar shredder James Murphy was also in Death and Obituary. Now, next is a song called Colossal Rage. This reminds me of a band called Sadis, a brilliant band from America. Very technical, and this was Steve Giorgio's old band. And this song also reminds me of the later Possessed albums, mixed with classic Monstrosity and a hint of Cannibal Corpse. So if you're a fan of all those bands, the next song is absolutely brilliant for you guys. It's called The Colossal Rage. Me, personally, this is my favourite song on the album. Next up is The Atrophy. This is a really good song. So plenty of blast beats in there. And if you're a drummer, you'd appreciate what Lee's doing. This song also has some backing vocals that resemblance Glenn Benton from Deicide. So if you're a Glenn Benton fan, you're going to enjoy this. Just for the sheer backing vocals, that is very similar. Yet again, Matt's guitaring is absolutely phenomenal. I probably have to say he's probably one of the best guitarists that the band have had. It's very technical, but he knows how to play and very powerful. Just check out some of the amazing guitar solos that Matt's delivering. Next is the song Spiritual. This is probably one of the heaviest songs on the album. Lots of blast beats, heavy riffing, brutal vocals, and all around a fantastic death metal song. Not only do Monstrosity write some heavy songs, they write some very technical songs. So guys, don't underestimate death metal. There's a lot involved with this music. This is a great album with some fantastic songs and a brilliant production. I'm going to give this album 4.5 out of 5. So other songs I suggest you check out on this album are Fortunes Engraved in Blood, Vapors, song Bloodworks, and the song Veil of Disillusion. Like I say, death metal fans rejoice because Monstrosity back. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Check out the new album by Monstrosity. It's released on Metal Blade Records, and it's called Screams from Beneath the Surface. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Please leave me comments on this review, thumbs up, and thanks for watching. More album reviews coming soon. Thanks for watching.